Okay, I'm gonna thank you. First of all, thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. It seems like we're still in this virtual world until we maybe break free of this COVID virus a bit more, shake it up, and hopefully next one we can have a face-to-face. I have a recorded presentation, so it's actually going to be easy for me. But I'm gonna just start it, and if someone could maybe give me a little heads up on if the sound is okay. So I'm gonna.
We'll do. Yeah, we'll do.
Let's see if I could start it. Okay, so I'm gonna launch it, and if it's not good, you'll hear me. Otherwise, you'll hear the presentation. Here we go. Craig, is it hearing okay?
I'm not hearing anything yet.
You're not, right? Yeah,
Not,
I think there's something to do with it. There's something to do with the video thing. I've had this before, I believe. Optimize for video clip. Let's try that. I'm going to play again.
And hopefully the next BITUG meeting will be face-to-face. Today, I'd like to.
Anything, Craig?
Yes, I heard you say.
Okay, perfect. I'll rewind and start again. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jack DiGiacomo from TANDsoft, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in and learning about the exciting products from TANDsoft. Also, I'd like to thank BITUG for organizing this virtual bite-sized eBITUG event. And hopefully the next BITUG meeting will be face-to-face. Today, I'd like to explain what TANDsoft block technology is and how it is being used in all of the TANDsoft FS family of products, which include FS Compare and Repair, FS Backup and Restore, and File Sync. Also, I will introduce E2S 4.0, the next generation of the Enscribe to SQL solution supporting SQL MX. First, before I get started, I'd like to share a little information on TANDsoft and myself. TANDsoft is a global provider of innovative HPE nonstop software solutions for use in time virtualization, application modernization, security, and business continuity. I have over 30 years of experience in building HPE nonstop software solutions, and to this day, still enjoy it very much. One of the TANDsoft specialties is seamless intercept technology. The TANDsoft seamless intercept technology can be used by any TNS or native process without requiring any source code changes. All customer, third-party, and HPE programs are supported. TANDsoft seamless intercept technology products include Opta 2000, which is a virtual clock and time zone simulator. With Opta 2000, an application environment can execute in a virtual time zone on a single nonstop server located in a different physical time zone. SDI, or Sensitive Data Intercept, for Enscribe, SQL-MP, and SQL-MX, which was recently purchased by Comforte and used in their secure DPS tokenization solution. Customer sensitive data access can be tokenized or logged with SDI. Enscribe to SQL Toolkit, like Escort SQL, Enscribe to MP uses dynamic SQL. E2S 4.0, next generation of Enscribe to SQL MX, which uses static SQL. Other blazing fast TANDsoft products include FS Compare and Repair, uses TANDsoft block technology and is the fastest compare and repair solution for nonstop to nonstop. FS Backup and Restore, which also uses TANDsoft block technology and can speed up daily, weekly, monthly, and TMF online dumps from hours to minutes. File Sync also uses TANDsoft block technology for super fast file synchronization between nonstop systems. What is block technology? TANDsoft block technology incorporates blazing fast reading and block hashing of Enscribe, OSS, SQLMP, and SQLMX data blocks. TANDsoft block technology uses the large block transfer mode to read file data blocks, which is much faster than reading records or rows one at a time. TANDsoft block technology is not block compression, which is a much slower technique and used by other compare solutions. Comparing data block hash signatures allows for super fast identification of only the data block differences between two data sets and consumes much fewer system and network resources. As we can see here, the source system or production system is on the left, and the target system or disaster recovery system is on the right. Each source and target file partition hash is calculated in parallel across multiple CPUs for maximum efficiency. When all source and target partition hash calculations are complete, they are compared to produce a list of source and target partition block differences. The source and target partition block differences are then examined to determine exactly the file record, row, field, column differences. The file record row differences can be logged to a repair log or can be used to immediately repair the target file. TANDsoft's FS Compare and Repair uses block technology to identify, report, and resolve database inconsistencies for all nonstop file types, including OSS, Enscribe, SQLMP, and SQLMX. FS Compare is very reliable and is able to accurately detect only the true data discrepancies between active-passive and active-active environments. False positives are identified, ignored, and not listed as a data discrepancy. When a true data discrepancy is detected, FS Compare is able to drill down and display the exact record, key, and field or column data discrepancy for both source and target files. FS Repair allows you to update and correct target file discrepancies for all nonstop file types. In addition, for added efficiency, FS Compare performs multiple partition comparisons in parallel on both source and target nodes rather than sequentially. Competitor compare products use record or block compression, compare records one at a time, consume much more system and network resources, leading to a very long compare time. With FS Compare, we can compare 10 million records in 13 seconds, or for a very large file, we can compare a 1 terabyte multi-partitioned file in 10 minutes. Can your current compare solution do that? FS Compare is affordable and available today. Remember to ask these important questions before buying a compare solution. If you already purchased a competitor compare product, and for very large files your compare job is taking too long to complete, we can help you. Contact TANDsoft and ask about our FS Compare cooperative licensing option. This next slide shows what FS Compare can display when a true data discrepancy is detected. In this example, SQLMP source table named PAN-P1 on Cognac 2, the column PAN2 was updated with the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the row where the PAN column equals 6 zeros. For a data discrepancy, FS Compare lists the source and target rows, the key, and the column data and metadata. With this example, FS Compare lists the source and target rows, length is 51, the key, which is column 0, named PAN, and length is 8, and column 5, named PAN2, and length is 8. This next slide shows a compare of a 4 gigabyte file with over 1 million blocks. FS Compare took 48 seconds to determine that these two files were equal. I'd like to announce that the next release of FS Compare and Repair version 4.2 is available December 15th, 2021. This new release supports compare and repair of all nonstop data types using TCP/IP instead of expand. With this addition, nonstop production and DR nodes with the same system name can now be compared and repaired. With version 4.2, all existing features are supported, which include blazing fast reading, source and target parallel partition hash calculations, and minimal system and network resource usage. Moving along, we will now look at FS Backup and Restore. TANDsoft's FS Backup and Restore incorporates the same block technology to reduce backup times from hours to minutes. For daily, weekly, and monthly backups, the Nonstop Backup and BR2 utilities always back up files in their entirety. Example, with Nonstop Backup using the partial option, in a file with 1 million blocks, when one data block changes, HPE Backup will back up all 1 million blocks. With FS Backup, with the same file, when one block changes, only the changed block is backed up. Besides improving daily, weekly, and monthly backup times, FS Backup can also be used to improve TMF online dump processing times. FS Backup and Restore supports all nonstop file types and works with all tape and virtual tape storage solutions. Next, we will take a look at File Sync. File Sync synchronizes all nonstop file types, Enscribe, OSS, SQLMP, and SQLMX between production and DR environments, over expand or TCP/IP, and works with all nonstop file replicator solutions. For large files, File Sync uses the same block technology to identify and synchronize only the data block differences to the target, instead of the entire file, reducing synchronization time from hours to minutes. Also, for some nonstop customers, File Sync is used as a disaster recovery alternative to tape. Now, I would like to introduce E2S 4.0, the next generation of the Enscribe to SQL solution supporting SQLMX. SQLMX is HPE's next generation relational database management system designed for business critical applications. The SQLMX high performance database executor are available for SQLMP and SQLMX databases. You can access SQLMX and SQLMP tables, views, indices, and catalogs by using SQLMX data manipulation language statements. With E2S, seamless interception, no source code changes are needed for your Enscribe application to access SQLMX. A very important feature is that E2S uses static compiled SQL statements rather than dynamically compiled statements, greatly improving application performance. The E2S architecture shows that incremental Enscribe to SQL migration is supported. Convert one program and one Enscribe file at a time. It also shows that E2S uses a native DLL for seamless interception and static compiled SQLMX DLLs for table access. Customer programs can also call the E2S APIs directly to access the SQLMX table, bypassing the E2S Seamless Intercept library. As we can see here, with E2S, the original Enscribe application can be incrementally migrated from Enscribe to SQL by converting one program and one Enscribe file at a time. How do we go from a live Enscribe file to a live SQLMX table? First, all programs must be E2S enabled. Attach the Seamless Intercept library to these programs. Next, activate E2S Enscribe Change Data Capture mode, like the TMF audit trail, for all E2S enabled processes. This captures all Enscribe file record changes to a CDC log. Next, initiate the initial file partition loads in parallel from Enscribe to SQLMX table using E2S. Then, initiate the E2S sync mode to apply the Enscribe CDC changes to the SQLMX using E2S. Finally, initiate E2S live mode. Eventually, this will apply all Enscribe changes directly to the SQLMX table. Here we see on one slide all of the TANDsoft product offerings for Nonstop. Additional information on any of these products is available on the TANDsoft website. Briefly, I'd like to mention that Opta 2000 and SDI are some of the other TANDsoft product offerings. Opta 2000 is a virtual clock and virtual time zone simulator. For example, with Opta 2000, one TANDsoft customer is using NetBatch with Opta 2000 and schedules jobs to run every weekday at 4 p.m. local time in New York, London, Paris, and Sydney, regardless of the daylight savings time. This is all done from one Nonstop server in Boston. SDI allows for seamless application interception of Enscribe, SQLMP, and SQLMX database access. E2S uses SDI for tracing of all Enscribe and SQL database access calls. Also, I'd like to inform you of a new initiative from Network Technologies International, the DRNet Unified Solution. NTI has been a successful TANDsoft file sync distributor for many years. On November 17th, NTI had a webinar hosted by Connect. If you missed the webinar, please contact Tim Dunn from NTI to receive a copy and hear all about this exciting new offering and how TANDsoft solutions are playing a key role. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you would like to receive a copy of the presentation, or if you need any additional information on any of the TANDsoft products, please contact Vitug or Dieter Orlowski or myself. We will be happy to help you. I will now open the floor to any questions.
Sorry, before you have any questions, one thing I'd like to add is Craig Lawrence is also on the call, and you can contact Craig for any questions on DRNet Unified. Sorry, Craig, I forgot to add you in the slide.
That's perfectly okay, Jack. No problem at all.
Okay. Is there any? Are there any questions? Oh, you must have some questions. No questions. I thought the presentation had a lot of holes and would have a lot of questions. Okay, Enscribe date fields may contain zeros. SQL dates will require valid dates. Are there macros? Yeah, we have a library, many data conversions, especially around the date, that are already supported. So we do have all of the standard transformations of Enscribe possible dates to the SQL date formats. And we also have custom. So there's the ability to do something that's a little bit out of the standard realm, but we do support a lot of date conversions for you. Yeah, so that's there. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, Craig, I just wanted to add, I didn't see a copy of the DRNet Unified on the website, but do they get that on the Connect website?
Are you talking about this, the
webcast?
The beta from last week?
Yeah.
I'll need to look into that. There's certainly one, I think, on the GTUG from earlier, from a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
The one you did the other day, Craig's going to get posted as well.
Okay, there we go.
That's a good place to get it then. Another question from Peter. Initial copy of data from source to backup. How long does this take? So source to backup. Peter, are you referring to the file sync? Okay, so file sync, the initial synchronization, what file sync does is to synchronize, but it's also a replicate. If the target file does not exist, it will be created. So it uses standard backup restore or BR2 to create the initial file on target, and it's loaded. Once that is done, all subsequent synchronizations of that target database will be done with only the changed data blocks. So again, coming back to the example of a file that has 1 million blocks, all million blocks will be sent across the first time. And then on subsequent synchronizations, only the change blocks, which amounts to a tremendous savings in time. Only having to update, maybe 5% of the file that changes instead of the 100% each time.
It's a bit like snapshot technology, Jack, really.
It is exactly like that. It really replicates or copies the TMF architecture, the online dump, and you can think about the audit trails only applying to changes. It follows that same principle. The FS backup and restore. So when we talk about the TANDsoft block technology, backup and restore is the same thing. Initial backup image is sent across, and then only the changes are backed up following that. Again, amounting in tremendous savings in backup and restore times. And the FS compare block technology follows the same format where only changed data blocks are being looked at and interrogated for differences. And we get